Sharkin with Seaweed. Seaweed here from the YouTube channel Sharkin with Seaweed. I'm the wild hair dad with the coolest kids that goes on adventures diving, shark fishing, cooking in the kitchen or catch, and much more adventurous, cool, exciting stuff. On this episode, we are going free diving for spiny Florida lobsters. I'm gonna show you how to catch your breath, stay calm, free dive down to the bottom, with your tickle stick, tickle them out of the rocks, net them, clean them, cook them, and how to stay safe. So stay tuned, you're gonna love it. It's gonna be in 4K. Hopefully we do as well as last year. Last year we had 2 days of 8-man limits, and you're gonna love it. It's gonna be amazing. Tune in. Sometimes when a lobster backs his way deep into a hole, you ditch your net and go in with your arm all the way, reach all the way in the back and pull him out. Me and the gang hit a really good patch of lobsters on this video, and I think we spent about an hour and a half just working with our big green bag, and here I am passing it off to the other people in the boat. We could barely lift this thing. There must have been at least 60 lobsters in this bag. Always remember to measure your lobsters in the water. If you throw your lobster into the boat, then measure it, there's a good chance he's gonna die. And the point is to keep the shorts alive. So in this clip, I have 1 lobster in my hand, Greg has 2 in his hands, and there's 4 lobsters crawling all over the floor. It was like the Bahamas. It was bananas. Here I am taking a nice cruise and soaking up how many lobsters are in this patch. I go down, I take my descent, and I'm counting them 1, 2, 3, until I run out of fingers. Now I'm just giving them a wave until I pop up and call the gang over. I think in this grass patch alone, we must have caught 2 double headers and I think 3 triple headers. 3 lobsters in 1 net. Other fishermen and YouTubers, do not be discouraged by negativity. If you've been fishing as long as I have, you must have really good honey holes for lobsters, really good fishing spots, and you could probably get your limit whenever you like. Mini season is different from regular fishing year long because we only get those 2 days before those commercial guys come in and drop their traps. So get your limits, don't feel bad about it, keep your limits on ice 1 day, get your limit the next day and take a giant picture. If you're following the rules, FWC doesn't care. Block out all negativity. All right, well now I'm gonna show you guys how to properly clean a Florida spiny lobster. Some may wanna use gloves. My hands are have a lot of callus from grabbing lobsters all day today. So I'm not gonna go with gloves, but to start off, you're gonna grab your tail with your right hand, grab your head with your left, and you're gonna wring its neck. Like your worst enemy. No, not like your worst enemy, but you're gonna wring its neck, literally. Give it a nice wring, tuck that finger in there. You don't wanna lose that meat. You worked hard for your meat. I got a lot of lobsters, but sometimes I only get 3 or 4. So work for that meat. Stick your finger in there and pull that meat out with the tail. Discard Mr. Head. Oh no, before we discard, let's snap this beautiful tentacle off. Discard of this head. We're gonna flip this lobster tail over, and now we're gonna take the poop chute out. This could get graphic. This is no longer PG-13. So you have your tentacle. You're gonna go into the poop chute. It might be tough at first, but work your way in there. Spin, spin while you go. If you spin on your way in, it's usually a lot easier. Spin, 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 spin. Sometimes you gotta check, sometimes the poop chute will pop out on this end. This time it didn't. Now you wanna come out kind of on an angle. Come out on an angle, and there she goes. Poop chute is out, we're clear. And tonight's dish, one of them, I'm making you 2 dishes. But the first dish is gonna be a classic broiled lobster with garlic and butter. So we're going to cut this lobster on the top of its shell all the way down to the tail. Got that cut. All the way down to the tail. Open it open, pry it open with 2 hands on both sides. There you go. And just like at your favorite restaurant where you pay $75 for a lobster tail, it looks just like that. But when it's broiled with butter and garlic and a little bit of paprika and fresh ground black pepper, it's gonna look beautiful. So stay tuned, it's coming right up. So our first dish is gonna be a lobster tartare. I'm calling it a tartare, although the lobster is gonna be cooked and it's not gonna be finely minced, but the way that I'm gonna layer it with these egg roll wraps, which is technically a wonton, I'm gonna fry these egg roll wraps. They'll be nice little crisp squares, and we're gonna layer cooked, sauteed lobster on top of it, Hass avocado, some wasabi, a little eel sauce, and it is delectable. You're gonna love it. It's amazing as an appetizer. Follow us through the steps. Our wontons are out. They're nice and crispy. We got all the other ingredients ready. I'll walk you through them as we layer. So here goes nothing. This is gonna be our spiny lobster mini seasoned tartare, but only this lobster's sauteed and not raw, and it's not minced. I left it in nice big chunks. So fried wonton goes down. Next goes a nice juicy chunk of lobster. Next goes our carrots that I finely julienned. Cut them all the same size. We're gonna layer with some carrot. Now our Hass avocado. Gonna put a nice piece of Hass avocado on here. One on this side. Let's go one on that side. All right, we got our Hass avocado. And remember in my ceviche, no, not my ceviche, pardon, my sashimi video that I made in one of our other YouTube videos, we made this big bulk eel sauce. As you can see, I host a lot of dinners and my kids love sushi. That big eel sauce that we made at home has gone a lot smaller, but we're gonna put some of that homemade eel sauce we made next. I put it in a little shot glass so I could pour it a lot easier. So we're gonna drizzle it, keep it pretty. This is a pretty dish. When you're hosting, someone sees all that color with a nice drizzle on it, they love it. They eat it up. It's beautiful and it tastes even better. So here we go. Little eel sauce drizzle. Next up, sriracha. A little sriracha, and you wanna hold it at the end and kind of decorate your plate and your dish at the same time. Oh, we got a bleeder. Next, I like to put a little dollop of wasabi. If it wasn't enough spice with that sriracha, we're gonna add some more spice. We're gonna kick it up another notch with some wasabi. A little wasabi dollop on the top. There we go. And our garnish that we like to use, cilantro, and we're done. And there you have it. I'm ready to taste it. Here we go. This is gonna be yummy. I'm gonna break it in half so I can get my mouth around it. Guys, you're gonna love it. Try this at home. That's one of our dishes. We still have one more dish for you, but that was the appetizer. I hope you love it. I hope you enjoy it. I promise your guests are gonna love it. As you can see, I eat. I'm a foodie. I like to eat. It's obvious. So I know how to eat good. I eat right. So the best way to eat lobsters is broiled with some butter and garlic, some paprika, some Tabasco, some lemon. We're gonna put some Cajun seasoning. Little Cajun seasoning, no salt. Lobster's just perfect as is, so just some Cajun seasoning. Some paprika. Give it some color and a little kick. Tabasco, a couple drizzles of Tabasco. You can see I like spice. And those are ready to go in the oven after we drizzle some drawn butter on them. Some drawn butter, and then I'm gonna separately saute some garlic and butter. So this is the total amount of butter we'll be using. About a half a stick, it might be a quarter stick. This is a quarter stick of butter, unsalted. We will use half of this to melt now and put on top of our lobster so they sit in the oven broiling. You don't want to put the garlic ahead of time because the heat of the broiler will overcook your garlic, make it black, make that lobster tail dry out. So you only want to put your sauteed garlic after or right before they're coming out of the oven. Follow us over to the stove. All right, our lobster tails are seasoned with some Cajun seasoning and some paprika, some Tabasco, some fresh drawn butter, and some fresh lemon. We're saving the garlic for after. And a lot of people like to broil their lobsters around 500. I've even heard 525, but I have a really good oven. We have a Miele oven and it is really powerful. So I like to broil my lobsters at 425. I'd rather them be a little close to undercooked than being overcooked, and give it a little more time any day of the week than going to where I can never return. So we're going at 425. We're going in the oven, I'd say about 7 minutes, and these babies are done. This is the most beautiful image you can imagine. A perfectly broiled, spiny Florida lobster with just enough seasoning, no salt, and cooked to perfection. Now we're gonna finish her off with a squeeze of lemon. Oh yes, that sauteed garlic that we sauteed in butter with the other little piece of butter we had. Some butter on her, butter and garlic. Ooh, ma pichulo. All right, some garlic and a little garnish around the plate. And I'll tell you, your kids, your husband, your wife, your guests, you're gonna blow their minds away with these two lobster dishes that I prepared for you tonight. Here's a few steps that'll save your life. Always dive with a buddy, at least one buddy, and always stick together. I know you wanna get lobsters, that's your objective, but even more important than that is getting home safe to your families. Dive with a buddy. Step 2, always have a safe, sober, and an experienced, knowledgeable person driving the boat. If you have someone that's drinking, listening to loud music, not paying attention to you, you will get lost, you will get run over by a boat. Step 3, the person driving the boat and someone else who's watching over the divers needs to have an air horn. When a boat's coming 30 miles an hour, 30 knots towards you with loud music playing, they won't hear your little boat horn. You need to hit that air horn and save someone's life. You do it. Bam! You need to have a tall, at least 8-foot PVC is what I use, dive flag. It needs to be visible. You gotta expect that everybody in the water is a newbie because in this case, in South Florida, most mini season divers are newbies. So that's the precautions you need to take to make sure you all make it home safe and enjoy those delicious lobsters with melted butter. I hope you guys like this video. It's just something that I've been doing since I'm a little kid. Born to two hippie parents, my mom Lindy and Bohemian Seaweed Sr., who had longer blonde dreadlocks than me, I grew up on the water. I grew up diving, spearfishing, shark fishing, kayaking out baits, getting lobsters, eating lobsters. It's been my way of life since I'm a toddler. So now we're just bringing a camera along, and I'm very humble. I grew up very poor in Section 8 housing, so I will respond to your comments. If you don't have any money, I'll pick you up and take you fishing. I'm not gonna get big-headed. I'll always be there to reply. I'll be there to help you out if you need advice, and I'll take you fishing. So please, if you enjoyed it, like, subscribe, and share it. Pass it around. If you really like the content, show your buddies. Thank you very much. This concludes this episode. Seaweed from Sharkin with Seaweed. I'm out of here. Sharkin with